We're here in Doncaster, in the middle of England, a Labour heartland. We're from Open Democracy. I'm Anthony Barnett.
And I'm Adam Ramsey.
And you've come down from...
I've come down from Edinburgh, and I find it fascinating talking to people about this referendum, having watched our own referendum only 18 months or so ago.
So we're here to think about the referendum in a town which everybody says is going to vote out. And we've met people who are for Remain, who are for in, but we've also met a lot of people who want out. And there's the rather plump Tory Telegraph reading, I want the place to change, who's for out. And there's the cheerful butcher, who was a miner, and he's for out, but he wants change, but he's still a Labour supporter. And there are the young guys who are angry, the system not working for them, they're blaming immigrants, and they want out. And what's striking about all of them, really, is they don't think anything will change. So there's this kind of an unspoken thing. That was different, I think very different from when I was in Scotland as well.
So for me, one of the extraordinary differences in Scotland is that in Scotland, if you spoke to yes voters, they had genuine hope. They had a sense that if they got independence, things would actually change. Whereas here, it's overwhelming cynicism. People are going to vote leave, but even if they do leave, they don't think that'll actually change anything because they think nothing can change.
And one was saying that there were people saying, you know, you've got to take your own pencil into the ballot or your own pen because visible ink, they'll fix the outcome. That was the sense that nothing's going to happen even if we are out. So in terms of what they were not talking about, they weren't frightened. They weren't talking about a crash. They were summing up the economic costs. If house prices went down, that would be great. But there's not enough going on here for people to fear an outcome.
So whereas in Scotland, you know, no voters were often genuinely really afraid about what happened in the economy. Yes voters were afraid but felt they were being brave and voting yes anyway. Here there's no sense of that energy, there's no sense of people worrying about
that excitement. And on the democracy front, that I think really came across in Scotland about our own government. Here, that argument, no one's talking about Boris Johnson, and the Leave argument about we must take our country back from the European bureaucrats. There's no belief that Westminster is a democracy for them. So that argument really isn't impinging there at all. No one is talking about democracy.
No, so they're talking about an abstract sense of change, and they're talking about immigration, and that's why they're voting Leave.
And the other thing that's missing, ominously, is the Labour Party. Nobody's talking about what the Labour Party thinks, and we've been talking to Labour councillors, and one of them, who's, you know, heart of Labour, she doesn't know what the party, she's not going to campaign on it because she doesn't know what to think, and she doesn't know what the party is thinking. So there are 3 Labour seats in Doncaster. One of them is held by Ed Miliband. There's now a Labour council. There was a Britain First Labour
English
mayor,
Democrat mayor.
English Democrat mayor. But it's not. There isn't a Labour Party office here in the centre of Doncaster.
But there's a total absence from the streets of any campaign. You've seen no one campaigning at all. We've overheard people talking about the referendum. There's a lot of interest among the population, but there's no one giving out leaflets. There's no one campaigning. Again, huge contrast to Scotland, where every town in Scotland 2 days before the referendum was abuzz with leafleters and campaigning and activity on both sides. None of that in Doncaster.
So we got this referendum. An enormous amount is at stake. But on the questions of the economy, on the questions of democracy, and of the questions of England and what kind of country this is, everything is unresolved.